Some TikTok lives play music, others create a place people generally want to return to. But Triple Nickel Roadhouse has become exactly that, a place where country music tells the stories. Classic rock occasionally kicks down the door. Longtime regulars pull up their usual seats, and every night brings its own unmistakable flavor. When we first sat down together, the Roadhouse was still finding its identity. Since then, it's evolved into something much bigger. 5 distinct nights, a growing community, new creative ideas, and a host who continues finding ways to make every person in the room feel like a part of the family. Tonight, he's back at CAWFEE TAWK, and we're going to beyond the playlist. We're talking about the evolution of the Roadhouse, the music that built it, the reality of growing on TikTok, life inside a two-creator household, the mysterious new voiceover project, because we talked about that too, and just how far he plans to take this thing. So grab your drink, find yourself a seat, and get comfortable, because the doors are officially open. Please help me welcome the man behind the Triple Nickel Roadhouse, Jason.
Dilly dilly.
Awesome sauce. So first of all, how you doing, sir?
I'm pretty good. Had a really good morning with Princess. She just started bowling in a youth league. She really likes it. And,
nice. Nice.
Good Saturday.
Dilly, that's right. Dilly. Let's get started then. The last time we were here, Triple Nickel Roadhouse was at a different stage. So what has happened or what has changed the most since our first conversation?
Well, since he's in the room, I got to give some props to Ed Vanderley at 1980 Something Live. And the thing that has finally stuck that I cannot get his words out of my head is you got to be consistent. And, like you said in your intro, I was trying to find where I fit in and what my niche was going to be. And I tried a lot of different things. At one point, I had 5 different kinds of music throughout the week just to see what was going to happen. And, country was what it was supposed to start with, and it's been what's always in my heart. Classic rock is pretty close to that. So they've always been part of it, but I was still just kind of out there, throwing things against the wall to see what was going to stick. And I had a committee of one meeting once, which is all up here. And I said, you know what? I need to stop fishing with a hook and start fishing with a net. And since the consistency has been there, things have gotten a lot better. So I definitely owe that pounding to Ed.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've seen the difference. Your room is. Sometimes I go in there, you have 30 plus people there, and these are loyal people that keep returning. Every single day. Which is
They're
amazing.
the black sheep.
What would one of your longtime regulars immediately notice about the show today if they were to describe it?
That it's not as cozy as it was when we started.
What do you exactly mean by that?
Well, growth brings discomfort. It's a necessity of it. And, while the core black sheep are the ones who have been here from the beginning, and even places along the way that they're the loyal ones that are always there. And as it has grown, which there's still, I hope, a lot of growth left to go, I've actually had a few of the old folks not come around much anymore because it just doesn't feel like that funny TV show with the bartender named Sam anymore.
It's evolved for sure. It's evolved. What has changed behind the scenes that viewers may not realize?
So there have been changes in the way of upgrades with my equipment and things like that. In fact, I've got a messy desk, but I'll show you what it looks like.
I love your background, though. That's really awesome.
Thank you. I don't know if it's allowing you guys to see things. It's not.
Oh, it's not. It's not.
Okay. I'll take it off real quick.
He's so down to earth that he's willing to show us his messy desk. Look at that.
Oh, it's
He's
terrible.
just an amazing human being. I really amazing.
All right, so nothing. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so here we go. This first off, that's.
Oh, you got to turn it on. The camera, it's off.
Oh yeah, I forgot to hit save. So here's the raw room. It's just a bedroom in the house with
That's
a back.
where the magic happens.
That's right. So
Awesome.
this is the setup, and I didn't used to have all of this. I just I had two computer screens and the microphone and the board, and it's actually this past Christmas that things started getting a little bit better. But it's not just the stuff. I mean.
Yeah.
When we put these shows on, there is a whole lot that we have to do.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really difficult to enumerate what everything is. But and each of us has a different style. I prefer, and let me put this backdrop back on here.
Take your time.
I prefer to run my shows but on the fly. And I know that that's kind of I'm a glutton for punishment for doing that. I program 4 or 5, maybe half a dozen songs to get the night started, and then I know the requests are going to come in. There are DJs out there that will put a whole list in of what they plan on playing, and then change it out as people bring things in.
Right.
One of my favorite things to do is to create a 3-song feeling. So somebody requests a song and I play it. While it's playing, I might have several requests ready to go.
Yeah.
But something about that song that's playing makes me think, oh, this one would go really good after that. And that's one of my favorite things to do.
Hey, listen, everybody operates differently. So, the fact that you're able to do that and, do it off the cuff, that's brilliant. Some people, I couldn't, I'm very paranoid when it comes to that stuff. But, if you're able to comfortably do it, that's part of who you are. And people love that. And Luis has got to keep the groove.
Absolutely.
So, have you been more confident as a host or simply better at hiding the panic?
So my only panic happens when the equipment fails. Some of the black sheep, maybe most of them, know that I have been a DJ for a very long time. I've never done radio, but I came up in the clubs back in the 90s, specifically adult entertainment clubs. And yeah, now I don't call myself a DJ. To me, a DJ is somebody who is, they're not, the crowd is not there for the person, except the ones that have the huge names and whatnot. Those guys are spinning records. They're making the music. That's what their people are there for.
Yeah.
What I do, and what I consider several of our group to do, we're MCs more than we are DJs. I know I talk way more than anybody else. And that comes from my past of being a strip club DJ, because it's all
I love the way you just said, I just say, under your breath.
It doesn't bother me, but it might bother other people.
Yeah.
I try to stay cognizant of that. But when we're in that atmosphere, it's all about communicating with the crowd. And sure, the music is the music. But in that particular arena, the better the music, the more it's inaudible. I mean, not truly physically, but
Yeah.
when you're watching a really good movie and they put the perfect background music behind it, you don't even notice that the
Right.
background music is playing into that
Oh,
scene.
yeah. Absolutely.
So that in the adult clubs, that's kind of what you do. I mean, you can use the music to set the emotion, but you use your mouth to set the brain and
Yeah.
get them to do the things that they're supposed to be doing when they're there. It's just
Absolutely.
it's crowd management, and that's kind of what I do.
Yeah. No, and you are good at it. Um,
Look who's here.
so what have you stopped doing because you realized it wasn't serving the show? Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, I don't. Every once in a while I will, but for the most part, I don't post before I go live. I It has never made a difference for me. It may for Amish boxer. It makes a huge difference for him. So it's I don't know whether it's my particular posting style or what, but it's never done much of
Yeah.
a difference for me, and I have so many other things to pay
I
attention to.
I also agree with you with that. I rarely post before I go live. I mean, I know that that's a thing, but honestly, I did it yesterday. I mean, I didn't see any difference. I don't know. I guess for some people it depends. I suppose, but I don't know. I just don't have the time to do it. Um, and I just hit the live button, and then your regulars will be there for you. They're always there. I mean, every time I go into your room, I mean, you got loyal supporters, and it's just amazing the
They're
amount
the
of
black
support
sheep.
that you get. The black sheep. They're your black sheep. That's right. So what is working now that you never expected the audience to embrace?
I it's such a tough question to answer because there are so many things, but really my hosting style is the best answer that I can give you because I'm always a little conscious as to whether or not I'm talking too much. I still do it, but I'm conscious of it. And that's one of the other things that Ed and a few of the other mentors and fellows of mine have drilled into my head is that they can go find the music on one of those streaming apps anytime they want,
Yeah.
or they can choose to come into my show and experience the music the way that I put it out there. So I'm really surprised that that works.
Absolutely, and that's 100% true. People can listen to your songs on the radio, but they come for you. Hi, Dave. They come for you. And the family, and the Black Sheep family, and the loyal regulars. So let's talk about the country music.
Yep.
It still doesn't work, but anyway, I'll wing it. Why country music, and what does it give you that other genres don't?
So I grew up with a dad that listened to pretty much the stuff that I play on Monday night, which took me a long time to embrace. That was dad's music. I grew up listening to that, but I came up listening to 90s music, late 80s and 90s music. I remember I was it was either seventh or eighth grade. I was at a friend's house, and Garth Brooks had just come out, and his dad was a pretty big country fan. And Kenny, my buddy, and I were talking about that album, and the song "Alabama Clay" is my favorite song from Garth, and it's on that debut album. And we were talking about that, and his dad was in the other room, and he goes, "You guys have heard of Garth Brooks?" I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, we love him. He's awesome. So that was junior high back then. It's called middle school now. That was junior high, and after I graduated high school and eventually made it to 21, then '90s country was the big thing, and
Yeah.
we had 4 different clubs here where I live, and we just made the circuit because each one of them happened to have their own dollar you call it night, and it was Tuesday at one, Wednesday at another, Thursday at another, and so on. So we just every evening in the week we went to the clubs. I didn't do a lot of dancing, but I think Dad's music put the bug in my heart, and when country evolved to the '90s scene, it was almost an unnoticeable thing that I cottoned onto.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. You have a good audience for it that enjoy it. So, what was the first country song or artist that really connected with you?
Kenny Rogers' "Love Will Turn You Around."
I'm gonna write this down.
When I was a kid, the movie Six Pack came out. Kenny was the main character or the actor in that movie, and it was a good movie for kids, and I liked the movie and that song. It just the message alone is enough, but it's got such an awesome rhythm to it that's just a good feel song all the way around.
Yeah.
That's right. Ed said it. Six Pack.
Country music is built around storytelling. Do you think that storytelling is also reflected in the way you host?
Without a doubt.
That goes without saying.
Right. I mean, I've been a storyteller my whole life. One night, this is when I was probably 5 or 6. I got in trouble for something. Don't know what it was. Doesn't matter. But we have I live in the house I was born into. When I say we have, it's because I'm here. We have a detached garage, and in that detached garage was a phone that was part of our house phone line. And it was after I had been made to go to bed. I somehow made it out of the house without Mom and Dad knowing. They were still up watching TV. I went out to the phone in the garage and called my grandmother and told her this big story that Mom and Dad kicked me out of the house and all kinds of other stuff. And my grandmother, who lives about 15 miles away, was ready to get in her car and come rescue me.
Oh.
And somehow they figured out that the phone was active. And next thing I know, Dad was opening the garage to the door, and there I am sitting there holding the phone.
Oh, busted.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I've been a storyteller for the whole time, and I love, I'm just, connecting with people through stories is a very, very big thing with me. And some of the best story songs are the ones that hit hardest.
Oh, absolutely. I think country it has the way of a lot of the songs, the lyrics are so emotional, expressive, So, did you originally understand what TikTok Live could become, or did you discover that as you went along?
Being a performer and a storyteller and a huge nerd, I found out about TikTok. Well, my sister has been on TikTok about 3 years longer than I have, and she kept sending me funny videos. And I never watched them because I really didn't care about somebody dancing out the passenger side of their car or doing whatever.
Yeah.
It didn't make any difference to me. Well, she finally got me to download the app so I could watch some of the videos. And I made a video when I was out on the road and coming home from Denver, and I missed my family, and I made my first TikTok video about coming home, and I loved it. But I didn't stick around too much into the making videos thing because I'm a nerd, and I learned about being able to go live. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do a trivia show, and that's what it was. It's Round Mouse Trivia.
Oh, wow. So you started as a trivia host. How long were you doing that?
Something like that.
Roughly speaking, like a year, less than a year. Okay. That's interesting. I didn't even know that.
Oh,
I mean, I guess this is not part of the list because I had no idea. So now I'm gonna give you this. Like, when did you like wake up one day from trivia and say, you know what, I really want to do country music instead. I want to, you know.
I didn't wake up that way.
Okay.
I
I'm
received an
interested in
invitation.
finding out.
I received an invitation from Hotel California to go see this guy that's playing this 80s music.
Okay.
And I followed that invitation straight into Ed's room. And back then, this account was named the Round Mound of Sound, and everybody has heard me say this story before. I had no idea what I was walking into. She just said, "Hey, this guy's got some pretty cool music. You got to come check him out." So I did. And when I came into the show, Ed said, "The Round Mound of Sound. That's the coolest name I've ever heard on TikTok." And that that was enough. I mean, the first thought that went through my mind was, "Yeah, this guy's just blowing smoke," you know. But Ed, being the kind of guy that he is, he was actually approachable. I sent him a
He says
message.
still is. Ed says still is.
I sent him a message and said, I'm probably, I don't remember exactly what it was, but what was the feeling was, I'm probably just, you know, some other guy that you get a message from that says what you do is cool and he wants to do it. But he responded to me, and we had a couple, maybe 3 hour-long talks, and he became my mentor in this whole music thing. And I was hooked from the beginning. You know, he had an awesome set behind him. You know, he was doing what I was missing from back in the strip club days. You know, he's pushing emotions into his crowd, and they're responding, and that's one of the biggest highs that I've ever had. So over about 3 or 4 months time, we got things set up. I was able to prove to him that I was serious about what I was wanting to do, and he kept mentoring me. And you know, it started out with Generation One, and we're on, I think, about the 5th generation of the show by now. And I never forget where I got the wherewithal to do it, and who helped me get there.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's helping so many of us, you know, and I'm forever grateful, right?
Patty Cakes asked where it was called Jezebel's. Well, one of them that I worked at was called Jezebel's here in Wichita, Kansas.
That's right, Wichita. I was trying to remember because I know you're from Kansas. I was like, I can't remember. It begins with a W. Wichita. Okay, perfect.
Very capital of the world.
Love it. Huh? So, what surprised you most about country music's audience on TikTok? And talk to me about that audience, because I'm obviously, as you know, for me, I'm not too familiar with the genre. So what exactly is it about it? You know, what does the audience expect?
Oh, that's a tough one. Let me roll back to the beginning of your question, though.
Okay.
What surprises me most about them is that not enough of them know I'm here.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, you know, I would love to impart my love of country music to as many people as want to come in my room. But
Oh yeah.
at this point, there's probably thousands that don't know that the Triple Nickel is even here.
Yeah, for sure.
As far as what country people expect, well, first off, they expect a quality setup. I mean, from my side of things, to be able to put on a quality show.
Right. For sure.
I of course, I don't know what they expect, but I assume that they expect reality, which I'm not polished. I make mistakes. I get into talking to the chat and I forget to start a song. it happens.
That's awesome. That's you not being like a robot. That's you being human. And people love
Right.
that. I mean, so which brings me to: do you think you're introducing people to country music, or mostly helping them reconnect with music they had forgotten? I'll speak for me. You definitely have introduced me to country music because I honestly don't know anything about it, and I've learned to appreciate it a little bit more ever since I found you.
And I would say that between introducing and reintroducing, it's there's a lot less introducing just because of the lower flow and the loyalty of the people that do find me. So reintroducing has kind of become my goal, especially on Monday nights and Thursday nights. Monday nights, I love to find a song that
We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. Don't go and dig deeper into the days because that's the next thing we're going into.
not at all.
Okay.
No, I love to find a song that someone or more than one in the chat goes, man, I forgot about that. That's just there's a half a dozen compliments that I get every once in a while that they're all way up at the top. And being able to play a song that takes somebody back to when, that's the ultimate thing.
Absolutely.
And then Thursday nights is more introduction because I try to bring in the brand new stuff as well as the other fairly recent.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're actually, that's where we're moving next, 5 nights, 5 different flavors. So you've built something closer to a weekly radio schedule than a single recurring live. Every night has its own identity. So let's start with Monday. Monday, and I hope I got this all right. You did check, right? I hope I got it wrong. Monday is Cornerstone Country, which is music between the time frame of 1970 to 1985. So why did you choose 1970 through 1985 as a foundation, the cornerstone of the week?
So I knew that I wanted classic country in the mix. And, everybody would probably put their own years as the range for what they would consider classic country. So for me, classic country goes back to 1960. But as somebody who appreciates full audio, I've never, the old stuff, the AM radio sound is something that I enjoy listening to, but it's not something that I would enjoy putting back out there. And 70-ish was about the time that the recording industry started making better sound, at least with country music, more fuller. For the longest time, I don't know if you knew this, but there was only one kind of drum that was allowed on the Grand Ole Opry stage, and that was a snare drum. No bass drums, no bongos, nothing. So without that fuller bottom end, it's not something that I enjoy putting back out there. Occasionally someone will request something from way back, and I'm happy to play it as a request. But just as programming, 70 was where I figured it was a good place to start. And it being on Monday, we build as you're about to let everybody know.
Right. So in that, for instance, which artist would absolutely define, especially for me that doesn't know anything about country, which artist absolutely defined the cornerstone country for you?
Waylon Jennings.
Who is it?
Waylon Jennings.
You're gonna make my my life easier to request, because when I think I've only requested twice in your life because I again don't know anything. So ChatGPT has helped me. I literally the night you put me on the spot, I don't know if you remember that night. What song for your husband and you said to dedicate? I think you asked me, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know any country. I don't know. Let me go on ChatGPT. I'm in a country live. What do I check? for music. That's been my savior.
It's really hard to pick one.
Yeah.
And I just pulled Waylon out because he was one of the biggest. But I mean, Willie, Waylon, Chris, Johnny, those are the highwaymen.
Okay.
There's Kenny Rogers, Larry Gatlin. They're all, they had that 70s sound and into the early 80s. Alabama as a group, late 70s, early 80s, and even into the 90s. And if you're a fan of country music, you can tell when the shift happened.
Oh wow.
Even though he's considered classic country, Randy Travis was one of the ones who broke away from what's known as urban cowboy country, which was the mid to late 70s. And Randy is actually considered a neo-traditional country artist. And he was the first one to come on the scene really with a big footprint to do it differently than Mickey Gilley and Willie. Well, Willie's been around forever, but the sound changed in the early 80s, but it wasn't the generation that I came up with. So that's why it goes all the way to 85.
A question for you. Would it be distinguishable for me, someone who's literally tone deaf when it comes to country? Would I be able to distinguish from a 1975, era sound beats, or, for lack of a better word, into like a more modern 1995, the difference?
Without a doubt.
Okay.
I mean, I would say the two songs that I would give you to tell that difference are Glenn Campbell's Rhinestone Cowboy and Garth Brooks' Friends in Low Places. Which, coincidentally, is if there is one song that the Triple Nickel is built around, it's Friends in Low Places.
Okay. I will listen to them. I'll add it to my playlist. So are viewers rediscovering that music, or do they arrive already knowing every word? What's your viewership? Are there people like me that know nothing of it, or is it more people that actually appreciate and know a lot about the music? Thank you so much for the heart. I appreciate you, Kelly.
I've had a few people who have come in on one of the other nights when I was doing the different formats, and learned also that we do country, and they come in on the country nights and kind of liked it. No one sticks out who has discovered country music with me and stuck with it. So for the most part, the new ones that come through, I'm sure that they probably already know some country, if not quite a bit.
Yeah. Let's talk about Tuesday. So every day is a different day. So Tuesday, it's Gen X country.
Yep.
Which is 1986 to the year 2000. So the first question I'm going to ask you is Gen X country sounds like it could become dangerous for people who still own cowboy boots from 1994. What makes this era special?
The big way to explain what that era is, and 85 really, or 86 wasn't really there. It was the foothill of the mountain, and in the 90s, country music kind of took on a more stadium country role. Big sounds, big stage productions, videos. Music videos was a huge step in country music.
Right.
That all started right around the early 90s. Because up until then, the only videos that you had of any kind of music were concert footage. And that's generally not the complete sound to reproduce for playback. So when they went into the studio, they were making the music the way they made it on stage. And that's why, at least for me, when I went to concerts, I wasn't always impressed, because there's a lot of processing that goes into a studio recording. And when that performer comes out and sings that number one hit, hey, thank you for that. And thank you for the other gifts, by the way, guys. When that performer comes out on stage and sings that song that you've heard 100 times on country radio, and it doesn't sound anything like what you heard on country radio, I got somewhat disappointed. And then I realized that I was appreciating only one thing, and I should have been appreciating way more than that, specifically the performance aspect of what that artist is doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, big sound, big drums, big lights, the whole works. That's what distinguishes Gen X or stadium country.
Which artist or song receives the strongest reaction on Tuesday nights in your show?
I don't know that there is one. I would say that.
Give me a handful of them. You don't have to just say one. If you can think of a couple of them, that's fine too, of course.
So, Friends in Low Places obviously is a big one. The line dance songs probably would be at the top of the list. Songs like Dust on the Bottle, Watermelon Crawl. But then there's some of the slower stuff that does too. I don't play a lot of Tracy Lawrence, but he's very well known for waltzes, Texas waltzes. And I don't know too many people that don't like Tracy Lawrence. He was big in his own right. He was one of the stars of the 90s. He nowhere near the superstardom that Garth had or some of the other guys, but he was still pretty far up there. So, when I play a song that goes back to the ones that the country dance club DJs played to get people out on the floor,
right,
those are the ones that get the biggest reaction in the show.
Go ahead. So you do both.
I guess maybe I don't quite understand your question.
Like, where do you draw the line between traditional country and the polished country pop sound? I guess the more refined, I don't know if there's, and again, because I don't know the music, is there a particular, some music sounds more modern, more like electrical. Like, I don't know what's the word for it, because I'm not a musician, but, I guess more synthesized, I guess, more.
Logically, or, I obviously split it at 85, 86. But that's not a hard boundary. There are some artists that were 82, 83 that could very easily be considered part of the beginnings of stadium music. So it's hard for me to draw a line between the two. They overlap a little bit. They overlap.
Yeah.
And one of the beautiful things about country music is, for the most part, it's an evolution, and the ones who are doing it today were influenced by the ones that were doing it 20 years ago.
Right.
So some of that's going to play into theirs.
Right. Well, let's talk about my favorite day here, Wednesday, Wild Card. It's a wild card day, wild card country. So Wild Card Wednesday gives you the most freedom. What qualifies a song for that night?
Well, it's not about a song. Wild Card Country has taken on a life of featuring a certain artist. And that's the way the first one happened after I made the switch, and it's just kept going. I did, I don't even remember who the first one was, and it went over really well. But then I did Kenny Rogers the next week, and it didn't go over all that well. It went fine for the regulars and the loyal ones, but it didn't pull a lot of people in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is there an, do you suspect of anything in particular? Why?
No idea. Okay. It could have just been one of those nights where the algorithm didn't pick me. We
all have those days.
Right. I try to do the shows chronologically. So we'll start with an artist's beginning and we'll go all the way through. Kenny is an artist who he has such a wide range of what he's done what he did in his music career. He started out with pop. He went to psychedelic rock, and then he went to almost a Motown sound for a little bit, and then he landed on country.
Right.
For whatever reason, it was not a draw for the FYP that night. So since then, I've kept it to artists that don't need a lot of crowd-driven stacking in the playlist.
Okay.
Everything is one that everybody knows, or most of them are one that everybody knows. And then I like to throw in one that hopefully I get to introduce to people, a deep dive. Number 8 on the album that nobody ever listened to because there was only 3 singles listed.
Right.
Off of it. So that's what wild card country is. The wild card aspect is until I announce it, you don't know who we're going to listen to for 2 hours the next week.
Love it. I love it. I mean, every night you have they designated the theme night, which brings me now to Thursday Millennium Country. So how is the Millennium Country audience different from the Monday and the Tuesday crowds?
It's not.
It's not?
No. I mean, that's part of the where are the country people that don't know I exist? But that's the same with any of the nights. But Thursday night is the showcase night. It's new people, Zach Top and I'm losing names right now. Riley Green, the guys that are out right now on country radio making hits and climbing the charts. But it's also back to the beginning of 2000s.
Yeah.
So that's why it's called Millennium Country. And there's plenty of artists in the 90s that fell over into the early 2000s.
Right.
I just finished this past Wild Card Wednesday was Montgomery Gentry, and they had a 20-year run that started in the early 90s and went in until Troy Gentry, one of the two, died in a helicopter accident. And then Eddie Montgomery, the other one, picked up the torch and kept going. But you got artists like George Strait, who started in 1981. So I did Montgomery Gentry this last week, but the 3 previous Wednesdays, it took 3 weeks to go through George Strait's music career.
Wow. That much music. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and that's 25, 27, 28 songs per show for 2 hours.
Wow. That's incredible. That's incredible.
60 shows for him. Eric Church is coming up next week, like Lois just said.
Wow, I can't wait. Which modern artist do you believe still carries the spirit of classic country?
Jamie Johnson.
Writing notes here. Writing notes, guys, because I want to learn too.
Jamie Johnson has been a Nashville songwriter for a very long time. And he made a song called The Dollar. And that was his breakout song. And he's been going strong ever since. And he is 100% in retrospect to the old guys, but he still does it in a modern way. One of his songs it's really one of the most clever named songs I've ever heard. It's called Between Jennings and Jones, and Johnson just happens to be right between Jennings and Jones when you go start flipping through the vinyls in the music store.
Oh, interesting. Do you own any of the vinyls?
No, I used to, but moving and all of that stuff over the years, paring down.
Had I known that one day those were going to be valuable, I would have kept them, but unfortunately, I did not either.
Ed might be interested to know that the very first vinyl I ever bought was David Lee Roth's Skyscraper. And then
Oh, is Ed still here?
I don't
I don't know
know.
if he's still here. That's interesting. I think he's still here. I'm not sure. I haven't seen him comment in a bit. But let's talk about Friday. Classic
Yep.
rock.
Yeah.
So after 4 nights of country, why does Friday belong to classic rock?
Well, it was on Friday night.
Right.
I wasn't doing any day shows, and then life took a turn, and it became I had a lot more time on my hands. So I wanted my Friday nights back with my family. So I decided to move it to the 10 a.m. spot. But the reason that Friday is right for classic rock is, as a creator who I'm in this to grow. I think anybody who, well, not anybody, but a lot of people who turn that live button on,
Yeah.
they're hoping to grow. And if you're going to have any influence on that growth, you got to know where your audience is. And quite honestly, the people who want to listen to classic rock are at home on Friday nights. They're not going out. They're not going to the clubs. They might go into the bar, whatnot, but it's just Friday is the night that it seemed right. I mean, I did some research, and
Yeah.
that's why I kept it there. And that's also why Thursday night is where it is, because in a college town, people party on Thursday nights because they go home. Well, I know that them being out partying is a kind of a direct contradiction to putting their kind of music on TikTok on Thursday night, but not everybody goes out to the clubs. And the club scene isn't the same that it used to be anyway.
Oh, by no means. By no means. So does Friday bring in a completely different crowd, or are your country regulars secretly rockers too?
Well, there's a song that says, even cowboys like a little rock and roll. That's very true.
Yeah.
I do notice that whether it's the 10 a.m. slot or whether it's the classic rock itself, I do tend to gain more followers through that show than just about any others.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Let me ask you this. If each night were a drink served at the Roadhouse, what would each one be? Oh my God, I don't know. I see the question. And I'm like, I wonder how he's going to answer this one.
I had to write this one down.
Okay, go
And by
ahead.
the way, I don't think that I gave you all the information. I do have a Sunday show, and
Okay.
it's called the Sunday Slowdown. We don't have to talk a lot about it because it's basically a mix of country and rock, both classic and current. And the whole idea is to play songs that aren't too slow, not too fast, just to, come down that ramp at the end of the weekend so that it's just not such a hard, okay, Monday, here, let's go.
Right.
So, including Sunday in the drink list, Sunday would be a slow gin fizz. Monday, Cornerstone Country, would be a bourbon and cola or a jug of shine. Tuesday would be, I have it written down, but I forgot about the word. So you remember Jerry Lee Lewis's nickname?
No, I don't remember.
Starts with a K. I'm sorry, I should have been better prepared for this.
That's okay. Listen, you're talking to me. I'm not. We're talking amongst friends, okay? Here, so.
Well, I don't want to say a word that's not.
Somebody put it in the chat. Now I know. Okay.
There we
That's
go.
fine.
Okay,
Now I
so
know. Okay,
well,
no problem.
if the chat's not going to have a problem with it, then the voice won't either. It's called a killer Kool-Aid.
Okay.
And it's a big mixed drink. It's red, it's fruity, and it'll knock you on your butt.
Oh, boy.
And that's
Oof.
one of the ones that was very regularly ordered in the clubs when I was going around. So
Wow.
it's got 4 different alcohols in it plus 4 different mixers.
Oh God. I
Yeah.
thought Long Island iced tea was bad.
Funny you should mention that because that's Friday's drink.
Oh God, let's not jump to Friday. So you were still talking about what Monday, Tuesday then is your
Tuesday with the Kool-Aid.
yep, and then Wednesday your wild card day.
That's the mat shot.
Oh, okay.
The mat shot is at the end of the night when the bartender cleans up the little mat on the at the bar. You
Yeah.
dump it into a shot glass and see if anybody's brave enough to take it because you never know what you're going to get.
And then
It just
how about Thursday? Because I'm waiting for the Amarillo Sour because that's what I drink, Amarillo Sour. So I know that you have a Amarillo Sour pop up. So does that involve any of the days, or is this a
it would go on Tuesday for me because that was one of the more ordered
gotcha?
cocktails back then.
And then what's your
Thursday,
Thursday one? Yeah.
dumpster fire.
Ooh, dumpster
That's
fire.
that's a brand new one that I concocted with the help of ChatGPT and just for the show because I made a whole bunch of those panels for
Oh, okay.
recipes and we actually tried it and it's pretty damn good. Lois doesn't like it. I had one last night. They're really good. It's a cinnamony kind of drink with cinnamon.
Ooh. What is it? What does it have? Fireball or something? Well, like what?
Yeah.
What's the alcohol?
It's Tennessee Jack Fire.
Ooh.
So it's got
Okay.
that. It's got not apple juice. It's apple cider.
Okay.
So cinnamon bourbon, apple cider. I think a little bit of lemon juice and club soda.
Sounds good to me.
It is.
And then what's your Friday?
Friday is the Long Island.
That's a Long Island. Okay. That kicked my pants once. Kicked
Lime juice. Mama D corrected me on that.
apple
So-
cider lime juice.
And the cinnamon bourbon and the ooh, that would be good, Dave. Blazing apple. Might have to try that.
Yeah. So now let's talk about the voiceover bit. I don't know if a lot of your followers, we got 31 people here. So thank you, everyone. Let me take this opportunity to thank everyone who's here. Thank you guys for the taps, for the shares, for the likes, for every engagement. Keep your questions towards the end. I'm going to open up for questions. So just keep those questions at the end. Building the voiceover bit. Let's talk about that now. You mentioned building a voiceover bit. What exactly are you creating?
So it's always been my dream to make my living purely with my voice. In the beginning, it was to be a radio DJ, and before too long, I figured out that really wasn't going to happen because Wichita's radio market is it's listed as medium, but it plays more like a small market, so it's extremely hard to get into.
Oh, wow.
So that never happened. And then the other thing was to be a club DJ. I got that done, and I've always wanted to be the guy in the commercials. You know, talking about that F-150 and that bourbon, those kind of things. So, over the past several months, I've been slowly building my footprint, I guess you could say, in the voiceover world. Still haven't jumped out there yet. Just talking to coaches and getting insight where I can get it to feel more confident about being able to take that step when I'm ready to take it.
That's awesome. Will it be a recurring character, an announcer, a comedy segment, or something we haven't seen before?
So, as far as taking voiceover to a point where it's my income, that's nothing that's going to happen or be a part of TikTok.
Okay.
My mic name is obviously the Round Mound of Sound. And as I'm building the voiceover part and a couple other things, my brand is the round mound of sound. And underneath the round mound of sound are the products, one of which is the Triple Nickel Roadhouse, one of which is the voiceover work. I also do custom curated eulogies. I'll sit down with the family and some family that doesn't have anybody who wants to get up and talk about the person that they're memorializing. They don't have anybody that'll do it. Well, I'll sit down and say, well, let's talk about this person, and you tell me what you want said, and then I will put it all together and record it, and you can play it at the service. And so those are just the products, and that's kind of how the building of the voiceover is working. You said something about characters.
Yeah.
I don't plan on being a cartoon character voice or anything like that. When it comes to getting gigs and being paid for them with my voice, I am targeting commercials and short form informational things. So just like those F-150 commercials, that's what I hope to do. What's going on, Amish Boxer? Good to see you. Hello to everybody, by the way. And there is one character that I have created that doesn't necessarily have his own voice. Although the first 2 or 3 times that anybody heard it, they didn't know who it was. And that character's name is the Unknown Cowboy. And the Unknown Cowboy is a recurring segment in the 1980-something live Cowboy Coffee Show. And it started out just me being silly me. Ed came to me and told me he was going to do this show. I thought it was a great idea, and I knew I was going to be requesting songs in there because Ed's playing country. And the silliness took over, and I decided to record a 2.5 minute long little story to request a certain song. And
you give me the green light, because that's the next thing that I'm going to do. So you give me the green light when you're ready.
Right. I think the series intro speaks to it, so I don't want to say too much. Well, because that says it a whole lot better because it's scripted.
Right.
But, Ed's whole thing with that show is come sit around the campfire and listen to music. So I created this character who rides up to his campfire just to sit and jaw and commune with a fellow mountain man, Western guy, horse rider, whatever, that's the whole feel. And then towards the end of the story, it kind of breaks the fourth wall and requests a modern song because it's supposed to give you the feel that it's happening back in the old West, just like the campfire. And the first request that I made through this was Jamie Johnson's Till the Last Cowboy's Gone, which I thought was a pretty fitting song to request in the inaugural show. So with that said, go ahead and play the series intro.
All right, so I'm going to play in the order that you sent them to me. I'm hoping that that's the right order.
What is the first one called?
TWYH Episode 4, Kenny Rogers. The next one is called Unknown Cowboy Series Intro.
Okay.
So that's the second one. And then the last one is called Unknown Cowboy. So there's the last two are unknown. You want me to do the last two and then the other one?
No, I forgot that I changed that on myself. So I'll go back. I'll back up to That's Why You're Here, which is TWYH. That's a podcast idea that I had.
Okay.
Some of you may remember Paul Harvey. He had a 5-minute character reveal segment on national radio many years ago. It was called The Rest of the Story. And Paul would take someone that we all know, and he would find information about them that we don't necessarily know about, and he would talk about this person for 4 minutes in that way. To give you an example, John Wayne's real name was Marion. So when Paul started talking about John Wayne, he introduced him to the audience as Marion. And then he would talk about, yeah, Mama Wolf's right, KFDI at noon. Well, that was the news show. 4:30 in the afternoon was the rest of the story.
And the rest of the story, still hear it on the small station here.
There you go. So he would talk about John Wayne's life before he became John Wayne. And towards the end, he would say, and we've been talking about John Wayne, and now you know the rest of the story. So then Mike Rowe of Dirty Jobs took up the mantle, and he did a show very similar, but he called his That's the Way I Heard It. So a little bit different. And I love those guys. They're the ones who literally shaped how I see a microphone. And I wanted to do my own. So I started writing. I have 6 episodes, and one of them here is one of the episodes that I produced. So go ahead and play the
technology be on my side.
Fame has a front row, but the real story, it's usually backstage. Welcome to That's Why You're Here with the Round Mound of Sound.
Welcome in, folks. Let's find out why you're here. Ray wasn't born with much. Just a 4th floor walk-up in the projects of a big Texas city. He found his first audiences in school talent shows, church gatherings, and anywhere they let him stand in front of a mic. His voice was low, smooth, and older than his years. Still, in a neighborhood like that, nobody put money on a singing career. But Ray's voice, it would launch a career in country music that would be unparalleled even today. His most popular songs are nothing short of iconic and legendary, but his magnum opus, well, it was a cover. Yeah, it was originally recorded by Bobby Bare in 1977, and some guy wearing all black put it on his own album a month after Ray laid it down, which, by the way, was after he tried to give it to Willie Nelson, who passed on it. But Ray made it famous. He recorded his version in the summer of 1978. It hit #1 on Billboard's Hot Country Songs chart 6 months to the day after he recorded it. It was his 4th #1 hit and exponentially boosted his popularity following his first #1, fueling Ray's rise to superstardom. But that's not why you're here. His first break didn't come in country music at all. It came when he lied his way into a jazz trio. They needed a bass player. Ray didn't know how to play bass. He never touched one in his life, but he said yes anyway. The next day, he rented a bass, learned the basic notes, and just kept up. Sort of. By the end of the first month, he wasn't faking it anymore. In the 60s, he sang in a doo-wop band. Then he migrated to psychedelic rock with a band that was known for their black leather vests, tinted shades, and long hair. Yeah, the man who would one day cast the members of a contemporary trio as the villains in one of his most iconic songs once warbled a song about the perils of LSD. But when the rock gigs dried up and the band broke apart, Ray was pushing 40 and married, with bills stacking higher than his album sales. But one day prior to what should have been just another audition, he got a call to fill in for a sick singer at a Nashville recording session. It was a throwaway job, but someone in that room liked what they heard. Soon, Ray's mediocrity would be a thing of the past. His solo career took off like a horse out of the gate. His second album spawned 2 #1 hits, and he had #1 hits in each year for 10 consecutive years, accumulating 20 #1s from 1977 to 1987, including a blockbuster duet. By the 1980s, he wasn't just a country star, he was a household name. Concert arenas, TV specials, even starring in roles made for TV movies. During this time in the limelight, Ray fell in love with tennis. Not weekend hobby love, mind you, no, 8 hours a day love. He played so much that he earned a national doubles ranking, something that most country fans never even knew. And Ray had business sense. He co-founded a rotisserie chicken restaurant chain that grew to over 150 locations worldwide. It even made it onto Seinfeld, the episode where Kramer battles a glowing red sign from across the street. Ray also dabbled in interior design and photography, publishing books that had nothing to do with music. He even hosted TV specials, showcasing his photos of landscapes and people, framed with the same eye for story that made his songs so memorable. Ironically, if you'd known this doo-wop singer turned jazz bassist turned psychedelic frontman growing up in the Houston projects, you'd have probably wagered he had about as much of a chance at iconic fame as a crushed out cigarette. On a warm summer's evening, on a train bound for nowhere. Safe to say that had been a gamble that probably didn't pay off. But hey, did you know all of this about Kenny, Ray, Rogers? Well, that's why you're here.
Absolutely amazing. That was amazing. Now, I know we have two other ones. I don't know. You want me to play it back to back? The other two? Okay.
Howdy, friend, and welcome to the campfire. I'm the round mound of sound, and you're about to take a little journey with the cowboy nobody rightly knows by name. He drifts in and out of towns, rides alone more often than not, and keeps his stories close to the vest. But every now and then, he'll pull up to a fire, tip his hat, and tell a tale. So if you're of a mind, have a seat, let the embers settle, and let the story take us where it will. Before we jaw any further, though, there's something I gotta ask. You mind if I call you Pard? Don't take that word lightly. A Pard ain't just somebody strolling past. A Pard's someone who lingers, someone who listens, someone who understands that the best lessons don't always shout. Sometimes they simmer. If you're willing to sit a spell, then I reckon you're Pard. Now I'm fixing to step aside and let the unknown cowboy do the talking. You don't carry a business card, you don't answer to much, but he's lived long enough to know that cowboy music ain't about rhinestones and rodeos alone. It's about fences that need mending, hats that carry history, saloons that remember laughter, and storms that test a man's patience, and the quiet logic that keeps him steady when the wind starts talking. Modern country still sings those truths, not because it's trying to live backwards, but because some things don't go out of style. Respect, grit, humor, grace. Each reflection you're about to hear is tied to a song that carries a piece of that code. And before the first chord rings out, the cowboy will tell you why it matters. So go on, pour yourself a cup. Let the fire warm your boots. Let the coffee warm your belly. Let the music warm your heart. Welcome to the fire, Pard. And for more current and classic country and rock, come check us out on TikTok at the Triple Nickel Roadhouse, TikTok's dive bar home for country, rock, rhythm, and blues.
Before I play the last one, let me just say I don't know how you do it, but well, first of all, you do have the voice for it. I mean, your voice is perfect match for this type of thing. But you got the whole package, like you got the fire crackling and the horse yeehawing and the boot. I mean, the whole vibe. Like I feel like I'm immersed into this. Like you really captivate the audience with this. I mean, this is amazing. There's just one more, guys. I'm enjoying it. I'm hoping that you guys are enjoying it too. Please share it out, guys. This is just amazing. Amazing talent.
Stop it for a minute.
You want me to stop it?
Yeah, I want you to. I forgot I was muted. Before you play that one, I want to do it just a short intro on
Oh
it.
yeah. No. I'm so sorry. Let me
No,
bring it back. Okay.
My
Okay.
fault.
Go ahead. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
We have done. I have done 18 total Unknown Cowboy episodes for Ed and his show. This one is number 18. And up until number 18, 17 on back,
Right.
it's been an evolution of things. I mean, what you're talking about with the immersion and the sounds and everything, I try to step it up at least a little bit each time. This one has something very special, and it's a complete level up from the other ones, and it even surprised Ed.
Wow.
So you're going to hear two voices in this one.
Okay. All right, ready, guys? Here we go.
It's finally gone quiet, Pard. That don't always mean peace.
Sorry about that.
Sometimes just means the lamps are low enough for folks to pretend they didn't see what they saw.
You offer coffee to every woman walking past your fire this time of day, cowboy?
Only the ones looking like the night's been heavier than their shawl.
Well, good evening.
Evening, Miss Emmeline. Pard, this here's Emmeline. She keeps more sense behind her eyes than most men keep under their hats.
Now, cowboy, that ain't much of a compliment. I've known some mighty empty hats.
That's a fair point. She's got a way of hearing a room before the room knows it's speaking.
And now you must be Pard. He speaks kindly of you.
Only when he ain't around to deny it.
Well then, I'll take the coffee and leave the two of you to your reputations.
Pardon me, heard some talk in town tonight. Men laughing over a young fella who wouldn't fight.
Now, is that so?
Called him coward like they was setting a brand on the hide. Never cared much for that word. Folks are mighty quick to name a man by the thing he refuses to do.
Yeah, and mighty slow to ask what it costs him not to do it.
That's the truth of it.
I've known men who wouldn't fight because they were scared. And I've known men who fought because that's exactly what they were, scared. Scared somebody might think less of them if they didn't bloody a mouth before supper. But every now and then you meet one who won't raise his hand because he knows exactly what his hand can do.
A man like that carries a hard kind of discipline.
Harder than most give him credit for.
There was a boy I heard tell it once, raised by a father who left him with more than a name, left him with the promise. Walk away if you can. Turn the other cheek. Don't let another man's ugliness climb inside your own bones.
That's a heavy promise to put on a boy.
It is. But he kept it. Year after year. Took the laughter, took the names. Let loud men mistake quiet for empty. Let cruel men mistake peace for fear.
Well, men do love mistaking.
That they do.
Rooms like that saloon, they teach a woman things she never asked to learn. How to hear danger in a laugh. How to smile when a man steps just a little too close. How to keep one eye on the door and one eye on the hands. And how a room full of witnesses can turn awful empty when somebody ought to be standing up.
That's the part that sits heavy, ain't it? Walking away can keep a man clean for a long time. There are moments when the dirt ain't on the man who stays. It's on the ones who made staying necessary.
Some men fight because their pride got scratched, but some fight because somebody innocent got hurt while the rest of the room just looked the other way.
That's the line, ain't it?
Yeah, it's one of them.
A gentleman ain't the same thing as a harmless man. And a peaceful heart don't mean there ain't iron in him somewhere.
Iron ain't wicked, cowboy. It all depends on who swings it and why.
Yes, ma'am. I reckon that's what stays with me about stories like that. Not the fight, not the falling. It's the sorrow before it. The years a man spent trying to honor his father. The moment he found out Honor could ask two different things of him at once.
Keeping the promise or protecting the person?
That is a hard fork in the road for any man. There's a song by Kenny Rogers called Coward of the County. Tells of a man some folks thought they understood, right up until they learned they didn't understand him at all. Not because fighting makes a man right, but because sometimes the hardest thing a peaceful man ever does is stop walking away.
Here you go, y'all. Coffee's still warm.
Settle in close, friends. Some stories need a little fire around them.
You
So then Ed
are
Blaze.
phenomenal. You definitely have a talent for that. Like you really, you feel it. Like like the story. It's deep. It's I don't even know what. Like it's just amazing that what you're doing. This I don't even know how did you even like come about this? Like this is not even part of the question. I just want to know like what made you think of this? Is really like so unique, so different than any other person on TikTok that does country music is doing, which is amazing what you're doing.
Well, this, like I said earlier, this started as just me being silly to make a request in Ed's first show.
Right.
And the first one was only 2.5 minutes long. The second one was about 3.5 ish. And then pretty much from the third one on, they've all been around 4.5 to 5 minutes. And I try to engineer that when I come up with the scripts. Mm-hmm. So it's everybody seemed to like it, because Rochelle herself, when she calls in her requests in Ed's show, she has a story behind them. She's got info and backstory.
Right. You couldn't have picked the best person, the best match right there, Rochelle.
There's a reason for that. So I knew that I wasn't stepping into unknown territory with Ed's listeners. They're used to longer stories. So 2.5 minutes to make a request for Jamie Johnson song sounded fun. And I sent it to him. I said, here, listen to this. Let me know if you're cool with it. If so, play it in the show as my request. And then 2 weeks later, I had asked him if he wanted me to do another one. He said, sure. The chat loved it. And then by the third or fourth week or show, they were starting to ask if the unknown cowboy was going to show up.
Wow, they were starting to miss the unknown cowboy.
Yeah, so I mean that was one of the best compliments that I could have gotten.
Awesome.
And I think it took most of them about 3 stories before they figured out who it was. And Ed never said a word. He didn't say anything. He kept the whole unknown cowboy part of it, and it wasn't too long before somebody said, "Is this Jason?" The cat's
Let me ask you: are you ever trying to? Would you ever consider bringing in the unknown cowboy to one of your shows?
No.
Okay.
Because he belongs in Ed's show.
Okay.
I mean, he's my product, and I have considered other things with him, but never to go away from what he is and where he belongs. He definitely, it's part of my resume, So once I get the whole website built and all that other stuff, it'll be part of my resume, my Audible resume. But as far as the character, that's his world. That's where he belongs. And
Totally understandable. So we're going to shift gears.
I forgot.
Yeah.
The reason that I chose Rochelle, I have been
definitely want to know
about doing a back and forth dialogue show for quite some time, and I just got this idea. I'm pretty sure that we can knock Ed's socks off if we do it this way. So I called her and I said, look, this is what I want to do. you're the one that I want to collaborate with on this. What do you think? And she thought it was a great idea. The first song that we chose, or the first song that I proposed, ended up not being the one we went with because of a certain element in his room. And then we just agreed that at the end of that call that we'd both put some thought to it. And if either of us come up with the song, then we'd come back to the table.
Yeah.
And I had done one previous single monologue one about a Brad Paisley song that talks about a West Virginia mining town that got hooked on substances, coal miners. And
Right.
this town cleaned itself up completely. But before I did all of the work on that one, I went to Ed and I was like, hey, I got a song that I want to put a request in for, but it is kind of controversial on the subject matter. And I walked it through with him. He said, dude, that sounds great. He said, I know you're going to do it justice when you do the recording, so go for it. So I knew that it wasn't going to be an issue to bring the controversy within the song Coward of the County, because we're talking about DV, you know.
Yeah.
I knew that it was going to be okay with Ed as long as I came at it from the right standpoint. And
Right.
when I started writing the double parts, and I was reading some of the suggestions that I was getting for the scripting, and I saw what her message was going to be in her script. I was like, man, this is going to it's going to go right to the heart. And most of the time, Ed gets these things at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning before his show. That's me. So he doesn't have a chance to preview them. And I called him on Monday before the show. And I said, do you ever preview these things? He said, well, most of the time you don't get them to me in time for me to do that. But, you know, I've come to the point where I don't have to. I know
He
you're going to
trusts your judgment. He knows that you're.
I said, well, I got to ask you specifically, don't preview this one. And of course, that's going to raise his eyebrows, right?
I would have loved to see his face on that one, man.
Oh, you should have. Just, he started playing it, and, you know, he goes to doing his things while he's pard, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know.
Okay.
He is pard. So he's the one that I'm talking to, but I'm also talking to the chat as well.
Right.
But he plays the actual character of pard, which has no speaking parts.
Okay.
So he's doing his usual thing as pard because he knows that that's the way it goes. And when he heard Rochelle's voice,
I could imagine. What did he do? What did
he
he
was over
do?
here. He was looking at something over here, and he went,
Oh my God. He recognized it right away?
"Oh yeah, right away." And he said, "You got me. You got me with this one."
Wow.
It was nobody knew about it. Well, I think
I missed it.
Donna knew about it, but it was just
Yeah.
it was just me and Rochelle, and the look on his face was just like Louise just said, it was priceless.
Oh man, I missed that one. I could only imagine. That. I mean, that's amazing. That's so clever of you to even come up with that. Like, I don't know, how do you even, like, you know, I know, like, you and I share kind of the same thing, because the other night I texted him, I don't know, what was it, 11 o'clock at night or something? I said, I have an epiphany, right?
Yep.
And that's how we operate, I guess, you know? It's just like random times. It could be me in bed, and I'm like, oh, wait, I have an idea. And he's my sounding board. Like, he is so awesome, man. Guys, get to know him. Really, if you're not following him, then let me just take this break right now to just say, if you're not following Triple Nickel, which I think everybody in this room is, please give him a follow. He's a genuinely kind human being. The man behind that mic is a true friend. What was that?
Louise is right. It is pretty hard to shock Ed.
Yeah.
We got
He
him.
was shocked. Wow,
Oh,
that was amazing. That was clever. That was clever. And
I'm
you couldn't have
surprised he
picked a better
didn't break his
partner
neck.
too. Yeah. Well, so now moving on to a different topic here. You're part of a two creator household, so your wife as well goes live, right? Your wife
Yep.
goes live with the ring pong parties. So, what is it like having two creators under one roof? Is she still here, Mama D? Are you still here?
Not sure.
I don't know if she's still here.
It's I mean, I've been pushing her to go live for a long time. Historically, and one of the reasons why I do the Wild Card Country on Wednesday with its current format is because Wednesdays have not been very good for me with regular music. I just didn't have a lot of traffic. And several times I've thought about giving Wednesday up, but I don't want to have a gap, you know.
Yeah.
So, and there have been a lot of people who have said, "Why doesn't Mama D do a DJ show?" Well, she doesn't really want to do one. I mean, she
Right.
does, but she doesn't, you know.
Right.
So when she got involved with BP, she's already live. Oh shit!
Oh,
I thought
wow.
she did.
Oh, geez.
Shouldn't mean to say that. When she got into BP, I was jazzed, you know, and she even asked, she said, "Well, when am I going to go if you're always on?" And we had that conversation. I said, "You can go live while I'm on."
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, we're, like you said, a two creator household. So
Absolutely.
I can
Absolutely.
have you
My mom, I wish my husband would go live. He would never, but that would, yeah, what would stop you guys? Of course.
Yeah.
For
So
real.
she can go live anytime she wants. She knows that. And if she's live while I'm live, I push her out.
So, two questions on that. Do the two of you help produce or critique each other's shows? I know they're totally different shows. One is music and one is about jewelry. So, do you at all?
She doesn't do that for me. There have been a few times when she's helped me with some things. I had somebody request a group called Jet Black Roses, and I'd never heard of them. And the person was pretty adamant that it was the song they wanted from them was going to be a really good one to play, but I don't do that, and most of us don't. If we don't know the song, we're not going to play it.
Because you don't know if it's going to have any, like...
Well, I don't worry too much about the wording.
Not because of you per TikTok standards, you know, that kind of thing.
It's legal to play any music that's commercially produced.
Okay.
Even Two Live Crew.
Well, then the next time somebody has a birthday, I'm going to play In the Club full length.
I
Okay.
can do that. That's totally legal. So this person really wanted this song, and without even being asked, Mama D left the room, pulled up the song on her playlist thingy, and she sent me a text and she said, "Yeah, you need to play that song." So she does help a whole lot in the background.
That's awesome.
But other than that, I probably am. I want her to do great things, and it's hard for me to not be too strong in giving her my experience and things.
Yeah.
So I sit behind the camera in her shows, and I help by having the things ready and writing things down and moderating the room and all that other stuff. But
Right.
I coach her if she's up for listening. I coach her on her presence and things. And the biggest thing that we do is just support each other.
You know what her VP name is? I don't know if that's her.
It's
Oh, there she
great.
is. Mama D's here. Welcome, Mama D. There she is. There she is. We were actually, did your ears ring? We're talking about you and your ring party business. And then I guess the last question on this topic is, do your audience ever cross over?
I hope so. She's just been doing it for a very short time. I think she's only done 4 or 5 lives. So there it is. Grayson Glam Fashionista is her.
Okay. I definitely want to give you a follow. I don't know if that account is here, but I will definitely do that. Give a follow. I don't know about now, but actually, the funny thing is, the person who actually convinced me to get on TikTok came from the book, and she is unaliving it here on the talk, doing that, the ring party. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if she's still doing it because I haven't, to be honest, she hasn't been on my FYP for a while. But she has a lot of followers. Yeah, she does really well on it. And she kept saying, Liz, leave that book, and come to the talk. For real. And I'm glad I did. Because if not, I wouldn't have met none of you guys,
So are we.
Speaking about community and TikTok reality, what makes someone feel like a genuine Roadhouse regular? That black sheep of the family.
There have been times when someone, a regular, has come in with a real life problem, something that's weighing on him pretty heavy. And it's so hard to put into words, but to watch people who have literally never seen each other in person come together as a family and support. And even so much to the point where we've been burned from all of the hearts that have come together and came to find out that the situation was erroneous at best.
I interviewed that person, I think the one that you're talking about, right?
You did.
Yeah.
And but then it's amazing how much love flows to and from the Roadhouse. A while back I came up with this idea, which wasn't my idea. I got it from another creator, to battle, but once the battle starts, all of my people go to that person and shower them. And we call it the Triple Nickel Stampede. And we've only done one. We need to do more. We just found this lady who was sitting on her couch. She had, I don't know, 3, 4, maybe 5 people in her room. She was just talking. It wasn't any kind of a lively show or nothing. She was just live on TikTok and watching TV. A person of modest means, that kind of thing. And the black sheep went into her show, and flipped over to her side, and dropped. I don't even remember the amount, but
Wow.
at first she was surprised.
Wow. I get goosebumps you telling me this story.
It was so awesome.
That is a good feeling.
I agree, Louise. She was crying by the time it was over because it was completely unexpected, and that's the kind of love that the people who are black sheep show. And it's not hard to be a black sheep. I tell everybody every time, there's only 2 qualifications. You got to love music, and you got to have a kind heart. If you got both of those, you're already family.
Very, very well said. Guess I'm part of the black sheep family too then.
You are.
I love music. I want to learn about the country music. I don't know much about it. It is, I find that's very emotional music. I really, really like it. Just got to learn about it more, but I do enjoy, I've had the opportunity to see all the different, not the genres, but the decades of it. And I like the 90s, I would say, and the modern ones. Pretty good. I'm not too familiar with the older music. I guess I got to go into your rooms earlier on the week as well. Have your regulars help shape the personality of the show?
Absolutely. They have characters.
Yeah. Your regulars have characters.
Yes, they do. And
Oh.
that's kind of that's been the plan all along. I mean, I wanted it to feel like a bar where people had conversations between themselves and in the retired corners of the room. I wanted the bartenders to, flirt with whoever they wanted to flirt with. Of course, all of it's innocent, but just to bring the whole atmosphere to where you forget that you're looking at a 3x3 screen.
Right.
You are there. And it takes characters to do that.
Yes.
Mama D is a character. And if anybody has ever seen the movie The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, Dolly Parton played Miss Mona. And she was one of the most respected women that anybody ever met, even though she worked and ran such a place. And that elevation that Miss Mona, the character, enjoyed and commanded, that's exactly who Mama D is built on.
That's awesome.
I've got, most of the regulars, especially the moderators, have some kind of character. Nelson, he's Norm from Cheers. That's it's just, I could go through the whole list, but the point is that everybody there comes in to be who they want to be. There's no doubt whatsoever that the Round Mound of Sound is built on Jason, but you don't get Jason when you're in the show unless something breaks that fourth wall where we have to act on our hearts. So other people do the same thing. Mama D is not Tracy, but Mama D is built on Tracy because Tracy loves to entertain and give her heart to people. And that's exactly what Mama D does for the Roadhouse.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What is one interaction with a viewer that reminded you why you continue doing this?
Out of respect for two other creators and other people who were involved in the situation, I'm not going to say the name of the person, but that person did not bring any of the baggage into my show ever. I don't know whether that was because I had a personal conversation outside beforehand or what, but it was never an issue in my show. And I totally understand and respect that it was an issue in two other shows. But because that person behaved themselves and embraced being a black sheep, they were welcome. And that person recently passed away a few months back. And
I'm so sorry for the loss.
it was we knew it was coming. And we hadn't seen that person for quite some time, and everybody was asking, how come we haven't seen them? Where have they been? And it was pretty cool to see that they were welcome here when they were not welcome other places. And I don't,
wow.
again, I totally not only respect and accept and embrace the fact that they weren't welcome in the other places anymore. That was part of my conversation. It's like, I know that you're not welcome certain places. You are welcome here as long as you don't do the things that got you unwelcome other places.
Right.
So in that aspect, I would have unequivocally stood up for those other creators who had the problem. And I wanted that person to know, I know what's going on over there. So whether any of my viewers knew about it or not, I mean, I'm sure the ones that cross over knew, but the ones that didn't treated that person with the same amount of respect and love that they did everybody else in the room. And it was pretty awesome to see that. And then when we heard that the person had passed on, and the amount of love that poured into the chat at that point was pretty unbelievable.
And I'm so sorry again for your loss. I don't think I knew the person you're talking about, right?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I don't remember then. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
You can tell me in private, of course. I'm not going to have you, say the name out loud. Let's talk about the expansion in the future. When you say expansion, what does it mean to you? Is it more shows? Is it more platforms? Is it new segments or something bigger? Talk to me a little bit. Let's market yourself. Are you only on TikTok? What is it? How do you want to expand?
With the Triple Nickel, I don't plan on going anywhere but TikTok. And expansion always involves coming up with new things, new bits, new bells and whistles. But the main goal has been so far and still remains to be raising my concurrent viewer count.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yep. You and I have the same goal. That's for sure. And do you envision Triple Nickel Roadhouse eventually becoming a brand beyond TikTok? So I guess you kind of answered that question already. You're not planning to go on YouTube or any other platforms, right?
I don't plan on it, but there's a little restaurant in Stillwater, Oklahoma called Eskimo Joe's. It's the only one in the world, and they have merch all over the world. So anything can happen.
Absolutely. Could the voiceover concept expand into pre-recorded videos, podcasts, or radio style programming?
I sure hope so. That's why You're Here was born for.
See that happening for you, Jason. I could see that happening for you. I really do. You. Would you ever take the Roadhouse into a physical venue or host a live event?
I would love to. If I ever got the chance, I would.
And then a couple more questions, guys. So I'm going to open up for questions, guys, real quick. How do you expand without losing the intimate feeling of that your regulars enjoy? So in other words, right now it's cozy, right? And I've thought about that too, because I've gotten into lives where there's creators that have 500 people, and genuinely, how in the world can you interact with 500? It's almost impossible, right? So I like, in a way, the smaller room because you have that interaction. So what do you think? How do you expand without losing that?
Well, I just have to make sure that I don't lose contact with the ones that have been here for the whole time. Right. And that's one of the reasons that I have badges and sounders. Linda is one of my newest regulars, and to show my gratitude for her and recognize the energy that she brings into the room, I went to the movie Roadhouse and took the scene where the lady gets up on the table and starts to dance, and I made that her thing. So even if tomorrow 100 people show up in the room and they stay that way forever, every time Linda comes in, that little sounder and video are going to play because she is part of the Roadhouse now. So as long as I keep that connection, sure, it could happen that, we have, I don't know, a dozen, maybe 15 or 18 people that are in that arena. And if we get 100 people in the room and it stays that way, then that number might grow to 30. Who knows?
Yeah.
It'll be difficult at that point to keep the quaint, but I know I'm going to try my hardest to make sure it happens.
And then what haven't we seen from you yet? Is there anything else coming up in the horizon?
Well, have you seen the Truffle Shuffle?
No. Truffle Shuffle. What's the Truffle Shuffle?
Listen here, Miss Gen X. You ever seen the movie The Goonies?
To be honest with you, you want me to be completely honest? I've never seen the movie The Goonies.
Oh my goodness. You
Yeah.
gotta go watch it. You gotta go watch it. I'm not gonna say
You
anything
think
else.
I'm lying to you guys when I tell you that I was brought up from a Latina household that I got a lot of catching up to do. All right, send me the list, people, of all the movies that I need to watch.
I don't know what you haven't seen from me because I probably haven't dreamed it yet. There is one thing that I've been working on for a very long time that's given me a big pain in the butt. I'm not ready to say anything about it. Stephanie knows about it. Mama D knows about it. It's an element that I hope to be able to roll out sometime in the show that will make it very.
I take it that it's spicy because people are saying for me to cover my eyes.
Oh, the Truffle Shuffle?
I guess so. People were saying to cover my eyes.
You got to go watch the movie. I don't want to spoil it for you.
Okay.
And
All
after
right.
you see the movie.
So the Truffle Shuffle.
Yeah.
Is it something I could watch with my husband?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's in the movie. It's a kid's movie.
Okay. Gotcha.
I mean, it's a Gen X kids movie, so it's a little bit, but it's a kids movie.
Oh, yeah, the video. Oh, I got to check it out, Steph. Oh, my God. Now I feel so embarrassed. People are probably like, where did Liz grow? Under a rock? Yeah, pretty much. All right, these are rapid fire. And then after this rapid fire, we're opening it up for you guys. All right. So be respectful of the time. I know we've been on for 2 hours, by the way, Jason. So I don't know what's your time frame,
Mama D's going to go do her thing here in a few minutes, but I want to
15
finish.
minutes? Is that good? 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So rapid fire. This is literally, don't tell me why. Just let's see what the audience, if they agree or not. So if you only had to choose one of these two, George Strait or Alan Jackson?
George Strait.
George Strait. How about Johnny Cash or Waylon Jennings?
Waylon Jennings.
How about Garth Brooks or Brooks and Dunn?
Brooks and Dunn.
All right. How about Shania Twain or Reba McEntire?
Martina McBride.
That's not a choice. Are you trying to pull my leg now?
No. It's just when it comes to women in country music, nobody beats Martina.
Gotcha.
Between
Okay.
those two, I would take Reba.
Cornerstone Monday or Classic Rock Friday?
I got to go with Friday every time. I love country music, but only doing classic rock one day a week keeps it fresh, and I love it every single time.
I love the Classic Rock Fridays. And then vinyl, cassette, or streaming? I mean, that's a dumb question. I think I know the answer.
Give me the Memorex.
Memorex, oh my goodness. You brought me back to the 80s. Request or hostess choice? Ooh, I don't want to put you on the spot. Or both.
Wait a minute.
Request or your choice, your host choice when it comes to music.
Okay. I like them both.
Okay.
I like requests. To me, prove interaction.
Yeah.
I got no problem programming an entire show, but I really don't have any way to know whether they're really into it or not. And sometimes the request will come in that's be like, oh, they don't want to hear this stuff anymore. Okay, we're going to go this direction.
Yeah.
So it's input, and
Yeah.
and they want me to play it for them. So I love it.
Thank you, everyone here. Thank you, guys. 5K away from 100K. So I don't know if you know Triple Nickel, and I'm going to ask you just three more of these, and then we're going to open up for questions, guys. Ever since I joined the alliance, so basically, I reached out to Ed, when telling him what it was, what I was looking for, right? And it was that to join to I never in the 2 years that I've been doing this, never could get to 100K. And ever since, he talked to me, he kind of gave me some good tips. Let me tell you, man, it's been amazing. I've for now 28 days straight, or 29 for if we do hit it today, it'll be 29 days straight, which is just phenomenal. So, cowboy hat or trucker cap?
It depends on whether or not Mama D's hanging on my arm.
I love that answer. I love that answer.
I'm a hat guy,
Yeah. I don't even know what your hair color is. I don't think I've ever seen you without a hat. Oh, there you go.
Dirty
There you
blonde.
go. I've never seen you without a hat. This is the first time.
I grew up with a dad that was that way, and the only time I ever take a hat off or go out without a hat is if we're not going to a country joint on a date.
Ah, got it. Song everyone requests that you could happily retire. I don't know if I want to put you out. If you want to, I don't want to put you on the spot. If you want to just skip that one, and then we got one more.
Go ahead.
Dream artist to walk into the Roadhouse.
John Michael Montgomery,
Okay.
without a doubt.
All right, guys. I don't know if anyone has questions here. I have your permission to put this on the tube. I do want you to kind of promote yourself, even though I know that probably 90% of the room does already know your time slot, but just repeat it. All of your shows, the time slots, anything that you're looking at. I know that we didn't talk about merch because I know there's something that is not yet there. So just promote yourself.
So we got.
And let the questions roll in, guys. 15 minutes.
We start the week on Sunday at 4 p.m. Central, all time Central. Sunday is a mix of country and rock, both classic and current, on the groove. Nothing too high, nothing too low. Monday is Cornerstone Country. That's 1970 to 1985 country music. That's 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday is Gen X Country, 1986 to 2000 country music, 6 p.m. to 8. Wednesday is Wild Card Wednesday. You got to watch for the schedule to come out to see who we're going to be doing a 2-hour deep dive in for the coming up Wednesday show, 6 p.m. to 8. Thursday is Millennium Country, which is 2001 to today country music, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And Friday is the Legends Lounge, which is classic rock, 1965 to 1990 at 10 a.m. Central. We don't have a scheduled show on Saturdays, but I normally always do one.
That is awesome. I don't know if anybody has thrown in any questions in the chat, and I just want to say real quick, let me give a cheers. We hit it for the 29th time. Thank you guys for that's just amazing. You guys rock.
Yay.
Now, I don't know if there's any questions. Did I miss any questions? Anybody have any questions for Jason? You're awesome. Thank you so much for accepting my second invite for you to come back.
I loved it.
Yeah. Nobody has any questions for Jason? Come on. Nobody? Do you want to, is there anything that I missed that you want to add? Do you ever feel, Louise says, do you ever feel defeated, and what keeps you going?
All the time.
Great question, Louise.
Yeah. And what keeps me going is something that Ed told me about in the beginning, and it always proves true. No matter what mood I'm in, once I hit that live button, everything changes. And that right there speaks to the love that I get from the black sheep.
You said it perfectly. Absolutely. There's two more questions that I see. And this one's coming from Gina's hideout. When you were younger, what did you want to be?
I guess the first thing was a naval aviator. And that was,
Ooh, I didn't know that about you.
yeah, my dad was a private pilot when I was growing up. I used to fly with him. And then Top Gun came out, so I wanted to fly. Medical things kept me from doing that. And that was about the time that I started really getting into music anyway, just personally. So with that falling by the wayside and working with my voice and music is
Do you know how to fly any plane, like small plane, any type of plane, helicopter, anything?
I could get people out of a jam if they needed to, but I didn't go far enough to get any kind of license.
Gotcha. Wow. And then I have, I believe, one last question, and that one is comes from Linda, I think it was. Wait, hold on, because I gotta go back now. Oh yeah. So Linda says, when did you start this journey?
It was May of 2024 when I first started doing the trivia shows, and the Triple Nickel went live for the first time on November 15th, I think, of 2024.
Wow. That is so funny. That's crazy that you started trivia. I would have never guessed that you started trivia. That's
I got to tell you how I do it sometime.
yeah. No, we got to talk about that. That's insane. So funny because I started in May, but it was totally different. It was soap. So we were in different paths. And look at that, it's so funny, right? Because TikTok has 1 billion over God knows how many, a lot of people, right? Billion something. Totally different niche. Me, soap, you, trivia, then DJ. Then I totally switched to trivia, and just our paths just somehow connected. Just never know where this road is going to take you.
And what's really funny about us is that the person who we shared to learn about each other is no longer in either of our footprints. That's pretty amazing.
I know, isn't that crazy? It was just, I guess, just meant to connect us.
Yeah.
Well, sure. Yeah. But I don't think I have any other questions. Jason, what I'll do is I'll try to edit, obviously, all of the stuff and try to post it. Guys, if you don't see so it's on my tube. My tube, I can't say the exact thing, is exactly what you see here. That's exactly word for word. Just put it in one, no spaces, just like that, and you will find me. Thank you, Louise. Yeah. So I am going to aim to have it tonight, like I did with Ed. And if not by tonight, you're the first one to see it because I'm going to send the link to you first, by tomorrow morning.
I'm good.
Okay.
I would like to say one other thing.
Yes, absolutely.
I do have a Discord server. It's the Round Mound of Sound. So,
talk about it. Discord. Now, is that open to everyone or just the super fans?
No, it's open to everyone.
On your Discord, then the Round Mound of Sound with the word the.
Yeah.
The Round Mound. Okay.
Several. It's not one word. It's each word is its own. I absolutely suck at Discord. Stephanie and Lois are the ones who take care of it for me. They do a great job, but over time we're hoping to get more stuff in there. You can find the recipes for all of the cocktails there.
Oh my God! Can you invite me there?
I'm sure Stephanie can do that.
Stephanie, I'll send you mine. I think we're connected on the Discord. I'm not complete. Are we connected, Stephanie, on Discord? I think you're in Ed's, right? Aren't you in Ed's?
I am, yeah.
Okay. Well, I definitely know Louise, because she's in. Okay, thank you so much, Stephanie. Awesome. Yeah, because I definitely would love to be a part of that. I may not be great at country music, but I definitely want to be part of the family. I hope you accept me, an implant from New York. Totally the opposite of country.
You're there, dude.
Uh, awesome. Well, guys, if you guys don't have any more questions, I think this is a wrap. I know that Jason probably has things to do too. He has his daughters and his wife. So
Who is doing her BP show right now?
what was that? You gonna go to the beach?
She just started her
Doing
BP
it?
show.
Go help her out. Go help her out. So and again, guys, I'll try to have it on tonight. I tentatively speaking, because I usually try to tell you, New York. I'm from Connecticut. I live in Connecticut, so I'm currently physically in Connecticut, but I am originally from New York. I gotta confirm, guys. So don't write this on stone yet. Don't leave yet. I believe if tentatively, Josh Blast from the Past is my next guest for next Saturday. All right, guys. So I just have to confirm with him, and as the date gets closer, I will then make an announcement here. Okay, guys. I love you all, Jason. Wishing you success. Amazing. Keep growing. You're doing awesome. You got an amazing community that loves you. There were times that we had like 30 people here. So everybody loves you. You're awesome.
Good time.
God bless you. Bye, everyone. I love you guys. Have an awesome rest of your Saturday. I'll see you guys in the TikTok streets.